can I just say one thing firstly? I love the name Eat Sleep Boxing Repeat.
Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted as always to be joined by Thomas Cathy. We're here to discuss what is next for the unified light heavyweight champion Dmitry Bivol, who's was last in the ring back in February. Has had an injury, but is expected to hopefully be back in the ring early 2026. For those watching this video, we are aware that Dmitry Bivol has one loss on his record against Artur Beterbiev last year, which was a very close fight. But we're here to discuss if anyone else can beat him, Thomas. 'Cause I think I like doing these videos with you because the idea of someone kind of remaining undefeated or being undefeated for a long time and being in a position where we kind of have to agree that there's no one out there who can beat this person. It's interesting to debate. So we'll start with the obvious one. We could be getting a trilogy. Bivol and Beterbiev. Beterbiev won the first one. Bivol won the second one. Controversy about who won the first one. I think the second one, no one really disagreed about who the winner was there. But do you think we'll get a trilogy? And who do you lean towards to win that fight?
Um, yeah, I think in all likelihood, we probably will get the trilogy just to, break the tie. It just seems like a logical next step. Me personally, I think I've kind of seen, those first two fights were great, but I feel like I've kind of seen what I need to see in terms of like who's the better fighter. And I think we can all agree that Bivol's the better fighter at this point. I think he showed that in the second fight, and me personally, in the first fight, I think he probably could have won that as well. Um, so I I'm sure it's probably going to happen, but I would like to see Bivol fight someone like Benavidez instead, personally.
Yeah, no, I think so. I just think we've seen that fight twice. We know what to expect if we get a third fight, and at the same time, Beterbiev's what 40, kind of nearly 41. Do you kind of want to see him possibly faded in a third fight? We'll see. Look, Beterbiev has also kind of been out of the ring for some time as well, and I don't think that's helped him. But at the same time, I just feel like it's 1-1. You surely kind of need to get a trilogy. You can't. I think we do need to see. Otherwise, the debate's going to rumble on in terms of who is the better fighter. And I just think it's hard to settle that. And I think we've seen other examples in boxing. I think Carl Frampton, Leo Santa Cruz was another example where you had two fights. One fighter won one, the other fighter won the other. And here we are. We never got a trilogy. So I hope you just don't want another kind of situation like that. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm with you, but I would like to see the trilogy also. You named the other main fighter, Thomas, David Benavidez, the man who a lot of people thought was ducked by Canelo Alvarez, has remained undefeated, 30-0 now, still only 28, so significantly younger than Dmitry Bivol. He's got a fight against Anthony Yarde coming up, a fight he's a big favorite in, defending his WBC World Light Heavyweight title. Do you ex Is he the guy to beat Dmitry Bivol? I think assuming he beats Anthony Yarde, that fight's going to go up in demand even more. What are your thoughts on Benavidez versus Bivol?
Oh man, I love that fight. I don't want to say that Benavidez would be the guy to beat him. Like, I don't know if I would pick Benavidez to beat Bivol, but I think that it is his best challenge. So, yeah, I would love to see that fight, and I would like to see how Bivol gets on against um, Benavidez. That'd be a hell of a matchup.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. I think those are the two main names to mention. Thomas, I think Callum Smith's another one. Callum Smith, we're expecting to fight David Morrell in early 2026. The winner of that fight could be a contender to fight Dmitry Bivol, or maybe fight for a title that he's going to vacate. But Callum Smith, someone who we've seen who's kind of is entertained over the years, but someone who has fallen short at the top level. So people would expect that to happen again if he was to fight Dmitry Bivol. Um, I don't. There's other good fighters in the light heavyweight division, aren't there? There's obviously Anthony Yarde, you mentioned, David Morrell, Joshua Buatsi is someone as well who's got a fight coming up as well. But I think we're not going to kind of go through the entire division. Those are the fighters I really wanted to speak to you about, Thomas. But I've got one final question for you before I let you go. 34 years old now, so not a young, still significantly younger than Beterbiev, but not a young fighter anymore. 25 fights in, not been in too many, outside of those two Beterbiev fights, he's not been in too many wars. How much longer do you expect Bivol to go on for? Because I don't see him moving up to cruiserweights. I kind of hope he doesn't. I don't think he belongs there. I think there was talk a few years ago about him moving down to super middleweight. I think that time might have passed personally. But what do you see happening? Do you see a situation where he might only have a year left in the sport and then could retire at the age of 35? Or do you kind of see him staying in the sport for some time and maybe to kind of taking on kind of upcomers in the next generation of light heavyweight prospects?
I think perhaps maybe he's in his final couple years. I think perhaps uh, the next step would be for him to fight or I'm sorry, Beterbiev for the third time, and then take on Benavidez afterwards,
Mhm.
assuming that he beats Beterbiev again. And then after that, it's like, where do you go if you're not going to move up or move down in weight? Which I don't really see him doing either of those. It's like, why don't you retire if you've done all that? It's a great way to hang it up.
I think so. And I just think if he's kind of on a run of win against Beterbiev, win against Beterbiev, win against Benavidez, you're not going to top that. It's not going to get better. You're not going to be in a fight that earns more money unless you move up and fight Opetaya or I don't know. I think there was even a suggestion of him and Terence Crawford meeting at 168. I feel like that story's gone quite quickly, so I don't think it's going to happen. But unless something crazy happens, you're not going to elevate yourself more. So, and he's earned a lot of money from the sport as well. So I'm in agreement with you. It's nice when fighters don't go on too long because you see it happen a lot. So yeah, I'm with you, but we'll see. Look, I'm hoping to see Bivol back in the ring February, March time, maybe against Beterbiev, maybe against Benavidez, maybe against somebody else, but we will see what happens. Thomas, good to be joined by you. As always, I'll speak to you again soon.
Likewise, thank you.